With a new year underway, local leaders are setting their focus on what comes next. And right now, we're joined with the mayors of Vincennes and Bicknell to reflect on 2025 and look ahead to what 2026 can bring to our communities. We welcome Bicknell Mayor Thomas Estabrook and Vincennes Mayor Joe Yoakum. We thank you guys for being here today. And so let's just look back at 2025 and some of the positives in each city. And Mayor Estabrook, we'll just start with you. So what about 2025?
So 2025 was a great year. It was a kind of an inconvenient year. We had a lot of construction going on. We saw completion of East 4th Street from Freelandville Avenue to Charles Street. That was under a community crossings grant that we had. Probably the most in-depth project we've had in a long time. Took out the entire road surface, the curb, the sidewalk, put in new drains. That was completed just right around Halloween. The entire road surface hadn't been redone since around World War I. And so we saw that completed. Then we also saw South Main completed from downtown to Southside Park. Very similar situation, new curbs, new sidewalks, drains. That was finished just before our Labor Day celebration. And so it complements work that was done in downtown, on the north end of Main Street, and this also out on the highway. So if you look through that entire area, you can walk on new sidewalk from South Main to the highway through downtown for the first time in probably 100 years since they poured the old stuff. So those were some of the biggest things we've done. We started to prepare the proposed City Hall site. That was an old gas station. We've cleaned that up thanks to help from the County Redevelopment Commission. We also cleaned up and took possession of 6/10 of an acre of property facing our Main Street downtown area, tore down 2 dilapidated buildings to clean that up for potential development. And we've continued a push on housing. We concluded the year with purchase of about 45 vacant parcels through the county commissioner's sale that we already have agreements in place to build homes on some of those.
Wow, and a lot of that road work really needed done. It'd been years.
Some of those places hadn't seen a paving machine in 70 or 80 years,
Wow.
so it was well needed.
Wow. And Mayor Yoakum, go to Vincennes, and what about 2025?
We had a lot of positives last year. Probably the biggest thing that happened was our trolley system really got up and running, and that has been tremendous for a lot of people that don't have transportation, and we're getting good comments from doctors' offices, and where people are actually making their doctor's appointment because now they have transportation. But also we did a lot of paving. We've been working on housing. We've got the apartment units out on Beerhouse Boulevard started. That'll be 240 units that should be hopefully completed this year. We've also renewed our agreement as sister cities with the Vincennes, France, and we gained another sister city in Ukraine. Excited about that. So did all our paving. We've paved Main Street and turned that back to one. We turned it into 1 lane instead of 2 lane because it's much safer at a 1 lane. So, and also was able to give employees raises, and we're working on police and fire getting their salaries up so that we don't continue to lose police and fire to other communities. And we've really come a long way there. We don't lose near police and fire like we used to. So.
So I know that a major issue in 2025 statewide was the impact of some legislation passed during the General Assembly, and both of you have spoken publicly, well, all of 2025 at several places about Senate Enrolled Act 1, which was designed to provide some property tax relief, but it's creating some challenges for communities like ours. So if you guys want to elaborate on that,
Absolutely.
Whoever wants to go first.
I will tell you the taxpayers are not going to be happy. They're promised that they're going to receive a $300 reduction in their property taxes. Well, with the income tax restructure, the city of Vincennes is going to lose $1.3 million, and that's not counting the property tax dollars we're going to lose because of the reduction in property taxes. So we have to find a way to make that up, and I've spoken about it all last year, and I'm speaking about it now. The city is going to look at raising water and sewer rates because the city can collect pilot through our utilities, which is payment in lieu of taxes. And we can collect up to almost $1.5 million through that. And we're going to have to do it because, and I'll show the budget to any citizen, come look at it and tell me where I have to cut, where I can cut up to $2 million. I can't. Our departments are already at low manpower because of tax caps, which happened 14, 15 years ago. There's no place to cut. The only departments left to cut are police and fire. And I don't think we want to cut our emergency services to make up for this loss. So we are looking at the water and sewer rates increase, which I know it's not going to be popular, but we don't have a choice. And plus, last year, again, we lost over $200,000 in our trash. So, and we used to subsidize that through general fund. Well, we won't be able to do that anymore because we won't have the money. So now the council is going to have to look at either raising the sticker prices for trash or coming up with a system that may go in your water bill. So all in all, in the long run, you're going to pay more than if they just left everything alone.
Yeah. And again, none of these decisions have been made right now. You're looking at 2027, right? Or
That's just it. We set our budget. We start working on 2020 in June. So we have to get these funding sources in place before then so we know what our budget. So you'll see the water and sewer rate come up, if not this month, for sure next month.
Wow.
And the same with trash. I expect the council, they've been looking at this for a few years now. I expect them to step up and do something soon with it.
Okay. Mayor Estabrook, how are you affected?
Well, Senate Bill 1 is one of the most concerning pieces of legislation that has come to pass in a long time. I mean, we tried to take some less painful steps. We have a 50-50 sidewalk cost sharing program, as many cities do. We cut that in half. We felt like what are some of the things that we control that don't affect payroll, that don't affect essential services. That was one we picked. That went from $50,000 to $25,000. One of the other things that we reduced, which will be noticeable. Of course, we have an interlocal agreement with the City of Vincennes, who takes dogs from us that are picked up by law enforcement. They charge us $250 per dog, which is a great deal. And we had previously $8,000 budgeted for that. We cut that to $4,000, and so you can kind of do the math on how many dogs that gets us. We have been in a place before where we could be a little more flexible. Somebody says, hey, I've come across this dog, it's not mine, go you take it. We would take it down there and we'd pay and it'd be fine. Those days are over in light of what we know. And so we're going to specifically focus on animals that are picked up by law enforcement, that are in immediate danger, those type of situations. And smaller cities, the danger that we run into is that we don't have a lot of stuff to cut. Like there's not a lot of overhead, there is not a lot of extra staff that we can say, oh, we can cut this staff position to make up this difference. It doesn't exist. And in my case, if you have volunteer firemen, you're not paying firemen full-time wages anyway, so you couldn't look to cut it if you wanted to. And in Bicknell's case, of course, we have a locked-in interlocal agreement with the County Sheriff's Department on law enforcement, and that is a fixed amount. There's nothing to cut. So there are some communities that are in a really difficult situation because they don't have there's not a lot of margin already, so when someone says your revenue is could be significantly reduced, it creates really uncomfortable decisions and discussions.
Yeah.
And I'll go a little bit further with what they've done.
Yeah.
Right now, every taxpayer in the county of Knox pays 1.7% income tax. With what they just did, a city can put 1.2% in place, the county can put 1.2% in place, and then there's another 0.5 that will fund other, like the library and townships and whatever other taxing units. Well, in the city, at 1.2, we're still going to lose $1.3 million. So that's not going to that's why we got to raise one. But then the county can put in 1.2. City taxpayers are county taxpayers. So now you're up to 2.4.
Yeah.
And if they have the library and they have to have their money, so you could be up to 2.9 when you were paying 1.7. So you may end up paying 2.9% income tax. So that's why I say they can cut your property taxes $300, but it's going to cost you a lot more in the long run.
And with the changes with community crossings,
Right.
there's been talk of the wheel tax.
Yes. And at one point it was going to be, the cities had to enact that in the county. I think they've cut it back to if the county does it, the city doesn't have to. But I'm not saying the city will do that, but that's something we'll have to look at if the county doesn't do it.
And smaller communities such as Bicknell are in an even different boat because municipalities have wheel tax authority if you have a population of over 3,500. Bicknell does not, and of course a lot of the incorporated towns do not. So if there's any wheel tax revenue at all, smaller municipalities who already have fewer resources are at the whim of what the county government does if they pass one. Mariocum would have the ability to do one inside the city, but we don't. And so if the county passes one, we could get some money. But beyond that, we are at the mercy of someone else.
And this legislative season the session has already started.
Right.
Actually started. And they're going to look at some changes to this, but in the long run, it's still going to cost you more
Yeah.
than if you just paid the $300 in property tax. So it's, taxpayers in cities and towns are not going to be happy.
Okay. Where one tax ends, another one begins.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we'll pivot to 2026 now. So with all that in mind, let's shift to the new year and what's ahead for Bicknell?
So the first thing is in February we will bid out about $1.2 million worth of paving work. We were one of the fortunate communities to receive funding through the last community crossings round. Our state amount is about $960,000. Our match is about $230,000, $240,000. So there's sections of 23 different streets that will see work from this project. We hope for that to begin March, April, so concrete and drainage work can begin, and the asphalt will begin shortly thereafter. So there will be inconvenience in some places. This will not be nearly as invasive as the Main Street and 4th Street work because we're not taking out a bunch of curbs and doing a bunch of sidewalk. It's heavy on streets that just haven't seen new asphalt in 15, 20, or even 30 years. And so we're kind of catching up on some of those streets that we put back to get in places where we had a lot of drainage work and concrete work to do. Probably the other things that are going out there, we'll probably be nearing a decision very soon on the future of a new city hall. We've been talking about a new city hall building for the last 3 years. The site is ready, and the council and I will be discussing what the money is. How much. And in light of Senate Bill 1, what does that look like? How do we raise the money? What does the financial picture look like to get us where we need to be? And I think that decision will be coming soon. And then finally, housing will continue. We already have an agreement with a local builder to get 8 or 9 of our commissioner sub property lots to begin home construction. And we have just today, I had someone else say, hey, can I have your property list? So there is constant discussion about new housing inside Bicknell. That's something that's going to continue into 2026.
All right. Mayor Yocum, 2026.
And unfortunately, community crossings, the city of Vincennes didn't get it, as a lot of communities did not get it this time.
Right.
Knox County didn't even get theirs. Mm-hmm. So unless they open up another application later this year, you probably won't see a lot of paving in Vincennes. Community crossings with Vincennes, it's dollar for dollar. Mm-hmm. Unlike Thomas, who gets $4 for every dollar he spends, we get $1 for every dollar. So
that's a population thing.
Yes, and I hate to spend money on paving that won't be matched. So unfortunately, there won't probably be a whole lot of paving, but we'll continue to work on housing. We've got properties that are available, and we're getting them to contractors to build homes on through the RDC, and they're getting money to start a program that they'll go out and maybe purchase a property in the historic district and then get it remodeled and redone, and then sell it and take the money and just keep doing that and try to get our downtown historic district back into a lot better shape than it is now. And then we've got our Main Street person in place, which is Ellen Harper, does a great job. And we're working on looking at all the vacant buildings downtown, trying to see if we can't locate tenants for those buildings, work with the building owners and get that done. But also with the new tax stuff, we're still going to try to work towards making sure that we can continue to give our employees the raise that they deserve. This year they're getting a 3%, and the police and fire have got $5,000, and that's getting their salaries up to where it's competitive. So we're just going to keep pushing forward, and we've got some projects coming up in the parks. We received $100,000 through Community Foundation that we've got $200,000 match with to try to make some improvements in Great Park, and I was just told we've got an individual that's looking at making a donation to put in a bike track in one of our parks that will be really nice. So.
Okay, all right. So despite the challenges, our glass are still half full. So
very much so.
Right, absolutely.
Well, Mayor Estabrook, Mayor Joe Yocum, we thank you guys for being here today and keeping us updated.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And I know you guys are very, 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 very accessible.
Yes. and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. So, and if people want, more information about what's going on around the city, either city, you can always go to your guys' websites or just call City Hall, and you guys are very accessible.
Glad to talk to you.
All right.